So this story has been constantly developing, but it's only getting better by the day. And you love to see Amazon digging their own grave deeper and deeper simply by lying, straight up lying to people, even though everyone knows Amazon's game at this point. Everyone knows that Jeff Bezos is the richest guy in the world, which essentially means, especially when you're from this country, that you're the best capitalist in the world, which also is going to mean that you probably treat your workers like shit and underpay them for the labor that they're doing and the production that they're making, so that someone like Jeff Bezos can have somewhere near $200 billion and on his way to $1 trillion, which is something that is being celebrated, which is completely disgusting, especially considering we have people sleeping under bridges in LA, people who are in bread lines during the pandemic in Texas. I mean, everything's falling apart in this country, yet people still celebrate someone like Jeff Bezos, even though he has more money than you can spend in probably hundreds of lifetimes, and he doesn't even pay his workers more than $15 an hour, even though he has all that money. So this has been developing, and it's really reached a fever pitch at this point. So I'm gonna kind of take y'all through kind of where this all started and where it ended up. So initially it started here, and this is where I kind of first caught wind of it. Was Bernie went down to Bessemer, Alabama, where we all know there's a union drive going on. They're trying to, I think the union vote might have just happened yesterday or is happening this weekend. And so Bernie went down there. A lot of progressive legislators went down there. There's been a lot of attention on it. And of course, Amazon, despite all the attention on them, despite everyone paying attention to this, is still doing their best and using union busting tactics to make sure that these workers in this one facility don't unionize, so they could actually have better, safer working conditions, better pay. They can actually go to the bathroom without the threat of being fired. They're not being surveilled. They're not having some gadget attached to them, which lets Amazon know where they are at every single moment of the day, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, we all know that Amazon is just a shitty place to work at. You're underpaid. All of us regular people, we actually know that. But then I see this guy, Jay Carney. I don't know who he is, but I see this tweet. And it says, with all due respect, Senator Bernie Sanders, you're wrong on this. We treat our employees with dignity and respect. We offer a $15 minimum wage, health care from day one, and a safe, inclusive workplace. And I thought that was really funny, considering like this still image that I got right here, which says, this was from Ken Klippenstein. Says documents show Amazon is aware drivers pee in bottles and even defecate en route despite company denial. And it's like this guy's telling you, like, don't believe your lying eyes type thing, Like, you've heard from workers in this video, you hear from workers talking about it. But believe me. And I'm like, who is this guy? And it turns out he is, surprise, surprise, current senior vice president, I think that means SVP, for policy and press, doing a great job with that one, for Amazon, former White House press secretary to Barack Obama, former comms director to Vice President Biden, who's now the POTUS. He's very excited about that. So this is the revolving door politics, and he's actually used to taking shit, repackaging it, and presenting it as caviar to people, because that's what they did during the Obama administration. And he worked for Obama and he worked for Biden. So that's where this all kind of started. And after he put that tweet out, there was also like Amazon News or some other Amazon account that's verified was also putting out stuff, because Mark Pocan, who's in the Congressional Progressive Caucus, tweeted, paying workers $15 an hour doesn't make you a progressive workplace when you union bust and make workers urinate in bottles. Then Amazon News comes back and says this: you don't actually believe the peeing in bottles thing, do you? If that were true, nobody would work for us. The truth is that we have over 1 million incredible employees, who we don't like to pay, around the world who are proud of what they do and have great wages and health care from day one. And so you see this stark contrast. And who are you going to believe? Amazon? Are you going to believe Amazon, or these workers trying to form a union because they're treated so poorly within Amazon facilities? And so these accounts, these accounts were like defending Amazon. I'm like, who are these accounts? Who's Jay Carney? Turns out he works for Amazon. Who's running this Amazon News account, which is probably Jay Carney as well. And then just a magical gem dropped. And so shout out to Ken Klippenstein. He works at with The Intercept, and he gets a lot of documents leaked to him, and he stumbled upon this absolute gem. Amazon's Twitter army was handpicked for great sense of humor, leaked document reveals. And he also revealed, I'm sorry I don't have it queued up, but he also revealed that, and you saw it in the tweet, the video that Bernie put out, that these drivers are having to actually defecate en route because they need to make these quotas. And so then you have all these people coming on and defending Amazon. And then he gets this leak as well, saying Amazon's Twitter army was handpicked for great sense of humor. So they have a Twitter army. Surprise, surprise. They have bots. I guess it's not just the Russians that have bots that are, so effective at using, strategy on Twitter, et cetera, et cetera. Like, it's not just Russia or Iran or Venezuela or all these other countries that have bots that are affecting people in this country so much, and we have to do something about it. Oh, wait, Amazon has bots too? Amazon has a Twitter army they're using to skew the truth and gaslight people, and they're paying people to do it, just like Brooklyn Dad, just like the liberals. They're all doing it. So it's always projection. Like I've said plenty of times, it's always projection. And it was just, of course they have bots. They have all that money. Why wouldn't they have bots? Everyone else is apparently doing it, and it works so well. But then they got exposed. And so now, they're kind of, they're not really backtracking on anything. In fact, Jay Carney, I think he just tweeted at Elizabeth Warren saying, with all due respect, you're wrong on something that she's completely right about. I think it was about federal taxes, which we know that because of all the loopholes and shit that's in the tax code, Amazon a lot of times doesn't pay anything in federal taxes. In fact, I think 2 years ago, they net got a rebate in taxes. This is a multi-trillion-dollar company, probably one of the biggest companies in the entire world, and they're getting a rebate from us, the taxpayers, while they're also doing this to their workers. You see how absolutely disgusting and vile that is? That's the system that we have in this country. That's the system that is allowed to continue. And I love hearing people, and especially legislators, step up for it. But, the PRO Act has been introduced, and unless that filibuster, gets heavily reformed or just nuked altogether, people and companies like Amazon are going to be able to continue to do stuff like this. And so let me just show you a few more things from Twitter that were great. This was Josh, the Rabid Socialist, saying Amazon creating bots to oppose unionization, JFC. And you can pretty clearly see here. And it's like they're not even good at it. Look, Amazon FC Darla at GYR1 with and they all literally look exactly Amazon FC Judy. And like, y'all can't be a little more creative. And look, having worked at Amazon for a whole year now, everything has been wonderful. Looking forward to a bright future. Join March 2021. Why did you just join in March of this year when all this union stuff is going down? Why did you just join Twitter? You have no followers and you're following 5 people. It's so easy to see through this shit. Same thing. I'm beginning to worry that there's a problem with UTIs across the country, given how frequently many of you need a bathroom break. You guys go to the bathroom 3 or 4 times a day. What are you, weird? What do you have a UTI or something? This is what they're paying people to say. You really should see doctors about that, which you can do if you work full-time at Amazon FC, which since we get comprehensive health benefits. Just gross stuff. And they're going to get away with it because there's no one going to be holding them to account on this. People were obviously calling it out on social media, but until there's some actual, legislation in place to prohibit something like this from happening or penalize it, it's going to keep happening. And this is from Best D Socialist. This is a part of what was leaked to Ken Klippenstein that he put online in The Intercept. And this is basically their manual for how to gaslight and lie to people, to their ambassadors, aka the people they're paying to lie on the internet. This is kind of their manual. So let me read it for you because it's truly intriguing. We will use examples like these in our training to show FCAs, these are the fulfillment center ambassadors examples of how to be polite but blunt. We will also explain that these are kinds of topics, categories that they can be looking for and responding to, though we don't want to limit them. We want them to go after every untruth they find. And so here are the bullet points. Articles about FC working conditions shared on social media. Example, Daily Sun, Amazon employees forced to urinate in bottles during their shift, which has been proven to be true and was revealed by Ken Klippenstein. And a lot of Amazon workers have talked about this. And they put response, no, that's not right. I worked in an Amazon FC for over 4 years and never saw anyone urinate in a bottle. There are easily accessible bathrooms in every one of our buildings I've ever been in. I mean, a lot of the urinate in the bottle thing anyway was talking about drivers, but even still, there's been people that say if they go to the bathroom, they're scared they're going to get fired. Real Amazon workers have said that. And they say inaccurate claims about FC working conditions from individuals. Example, your employees get fired if they have a baby. That's insane. Do better, Amazon, which has happened. And they say response, that's simply not true. I've worked at Amazon, FC, yada, yada, yada. Just look at, all this stuff. It's just literally in the examples, they give true, real examples that people have actually said. And then they say response, and then they give some bullshit, some bullshit response that literally is a lie. And this is what they were putting in. This is what they were putting in their manuals to these bots that they paid for. And that's just how it goes. That's what happens when you have hundreds of billions of dollars to spend. You don't want your name to get dragged through the mud. And they're doing all this just to oppose the union drive in Alabama. Why? Because they know that once other Amazon employees see and support and get wind of what's going on in Bessemer, Alabama, they're going to want that at their fulfillment center too. They're going to want those safe and healthy working conditions and better pay at their facilities too. And what will that mean for Amazon? They'll make a little bit less money and their workers will actually be compensated fairly. But that's so beyond the pale for Amazon that they'll spend all this money creating a troll farm and all this money hiring lawyers and hiring PR people and all this stuff just to crush that one union drive. They'll do all that other shit, but they just won't pay their workers more money. This is what happens when you have the company that is the best capitalist company in the world. That's what the type of shit they do. So if you don't think this needs to be heavily reformed, I'm talking heavy reform so this shit doesn't happen. If you don't believe in that, then you just don't believe that workers deserve a fair wage. You don't believe that workers deserve fair working conditions. You just don't believe in that. And so, obviously this is a very funny story, but, it has real world ramifications. And I want us to all keep that in mind. I want us all to support that union drive in Bessemer, Alabama. And hopefully next week I'll be reporting to y'all that there was a yes vote, a majority yes vote on that union drive in Bessemer, Alabama.